What's up, everybody? And today we're watching something different. How a Nighthawk was shot down. This is by a channel called Hub, which I've never seen before. But when I go onto their channel, it looks like they're an animated film studio that produces films about history. That's what it says in the description. And it's a lot of military stuff. My hope, and it looks like they use like Unreal Engine to animate it. Right, listen. We've watched some good storytellers on YouTube, haven't we? Mr. Ballin, The Fat Electrician. Some really, really good storytellers. And there's more. There's more. I have a feeling this might be up there with it. I've been told by a friend of mine who sent it me on Discord. They said, look, Luke, this channel is phenomenal. You need to check out some of the stories they tell. I will leave a link down below to Hub, specifically the video we're going to be watching here, how a Nighthawk was shot down. Please go over, give it a subscribe, all that good stuff. Firstly, I didn't know an F-117A had ever been shot down before. So that in itself is going to be super interesting. It's only like a 12-minute video. So let's sit back, let's break it down, let's see what's going on, and let's figure out what has happened with this story, because I know absolutely nothing about it. In the description, it actually says on the 27th of March, 1999, Lieutenant Colonel Daryl Zelko from the U.S. Air Force 49 Fighter Wing was on a bombing mission over Serbia in his F-117A Nighthawk as part of Operation Allied Forces. His mission was to take out the enemy command center near Belgrade. Without any support via aircraft that night, Zelko relied solely on the stealth capabilities of his Nighthawk, but below him, a Serbian SAM battery under the command of Lieutenant Colonel Zoltan Dani, equipped with an obsolete Soviet-made S-125 naval missile system, was waiting. This is going to be super interesting because I've never heard of this before. Before we get started, let me put my head up. Check out Chug, 10% off, link down below. If you want to support a small business here in the UK, these things are absolutely phenomenal. If you want to look like an absolute legend while you drink your drink, check out Chug, link down below. 10% off. You're not going to get that anywhere else. Anyway, let's pull this up and let's see what's going on here. It's good, isn't it? We've watched some animation stuff on this channel before, like the Warhammer stuff. This is really, really good, isn't it? Like really up there. This is good. This is why I'm excited for this, because you know how much we love watching military stuff on here. And if we start getting some of these stories made at a quality like this, whoo!
And his mission is to bomb the command center of the Serbian Air Force in Belgrade. It's the headquarters night. Zelko's escorted by F-16 Vipers with missiles that can lock on and destroy enemy radar.
So is this a training exercise? So it wasn't actually shut down. Was this a training exercise? Operation Allied Force. This must have been this mustn't have been real. This mustn't have been real. This must have been a training exercise. Interesting. Also, F-117. It's got to be one of the coolest looking aircraft ever made, hasn't it? I get it. The B-2 is up there. The F-22 is up there. But there's something so unique about the F-117, isn't there? When we saw it in the new Black Ops game, woo!
As he approaches the Serbian border, he hears a command come over the radio.
This is Joint Forces Air Component Commander.
Because of the bad weather, the escorting Vipers are ordered to immediately turn back and return to base.
Interesting.
He's on his own. If he's to make it home safely, he has to remain undetected. A ghost. Fortunately, he's in the most advanced operational fighter bomber that has ever flown.
Let's look at some of these stats here they've put up. I like how they've done this. I'm liking this channel. Hub. Where have you been? Wingspan, 43 feet. Whoa, I didn't know it was actually that big. Well, 43 feet. I was thinking meters, actually. Yeah. 13.3 meters. It's not that big. It's not massive, is it? Height, 12 foot, 5 inch. Weight, 52,500 pounds. It's a big boy. It's not that big, though, is it, really?
The Nighthawk's stealth capabilities make the 65-foot-long bomber appear on radar as if it was the size of a tennis ball, allowing it, so far, to go unchallenged in every mission.
That's mental.
That is, every mission until this one. On the ground, an anti-air missile battery is waiting for him.
Okay, we've got... Let me get this up here. Uses 2 radar to lock on target. 2 radars to lock on target. S125 neither. Length 220 feet. Diameter 14.8 inches. Weight 2,100 pounds. Soviet surface to air missile system. I wonder what the date is on these. When did this take place again? 1999? 25 years ago?
Command of Lieutenant Colonel Zoltan Dani. Serbian spies have let him know that the enemy aircraft are coming, and he thinks today is his best chance to take down one of the elusive ghosts. Sweep the skies.
Is this real? Did this actually happen? Did this actually happen? I'm confused. Was this actually... Oh, it was actually shot down. Oh my god, this is real. This wasn't some sort of training exercise. It was legit shot down. So this is a true story. Part of me was like, is it true or is it not? Like, it seemed... Because I've never heard of it before. I've never heard of a F-117 being shot down before. Here we are. I guess it's real.
Dani orders. And the P-18 early warning radar comes to life. They think at its lowest frequency, it may be capable of detecting the enemy planes. But it also detects clouds and rain, resulting in a screen covered in fake signals.
Yeah.
But looking closely, Dani sees something. One tiny dot moving through the masses of clouds.
God, imagine that's the only thing you see, this tiny little dot. And you have to pick it out between all this other, you know, stuff that's on the radar. All this other noise that's going on. Jeez, like they have to be so switched on, don't they? I never did anything like this when I was in the Royal Marines. Although I did walk into rooms every now and again where they were doing this type of stuff, and I remember looking, being like, "Whoa, that's super cool." But that was never really my job, was it? But like at the same time, like part of me wishes that I stayed in long enough so that I could start, you know, seeing more stuff like this.
A tiny dot headed right towards them.
This animation's fantastic.
Zalko's Nighthawk speeds towards its objective. The computer preparing the drop.
Wow.
Dani double checks the low frequency radar. He can see the target. It's right in front of them. But he needs the SAM radar to get a lock. The men scan the sky just as instructed. Yet, the screens remain dead.
It's I wonder, did the guy die? I mean, it's going to tell us in the story, isn't it? Okay, let me just give... It's been about nearly 3 minutes here. Let me just give you my spiel here. I think that the storytelling on this is brilliant. I do wish it gave me a little bit more... Well, it doesn't need to say that it's a true story at the start, because this might be common knowledge to a lot of people. But to me, it wasn't. So I kind of wish I knew that it was a real story at the start, but like... I think that was just me being a bit dumb, do you know what I mean? But what I was going to say is, the storytelling so far is really, really good. It's very intense.
But then, Zalko opens his bomb bay.
Oh,
increasing the
that's...
Nighthawk's radar signature.
Yep.
Just at the wrong moment.
Yep. Wow. Wow.
2 missiles fire off the launcher in quick succession. Streaking across the sky, Zalko drops his bombs. They follow the path designated by the laser and explode. He soars past the target. It's another mission success, and
So he actually managed to send off the bombs, and they did hit. That's actually pretty wild, isn't it?
ascends to 6 kilometers. But a few seconds later, his cockpit is filled with the wail of an urgent alarm, and his controls light up. It's a lock alert.
Shit.
Almost at the same time, he sees the 2 missiles illuminate the clouds below him
Shit.
and then break through. They're coming right at him. He immediately breaks into evasive maneuvers. He pulls his aircraft up to try and escape. He's pushed into his seat as he ascends, as the aircraft screams more warnings at him.
Oh, the storytelling's good, but it's really intense, isn't it? I mean, we know he gets shot down, so I don't know why it's so intense. It's crazy, isn't it, that, like, me as, like, a former Royal Marines Commando, I just didn't learn about stuff like this. And I know it's not within my bubble. It's not within my sphere to know, so it doesn't really matter. But I feel like it's things that that sparks that interest in just military knowledge in general. Because when I was young, I was also a bit, like, oblivious to the world. Do you know what I mean? And if they started telling us stories like this, I just feel like it would get you a bit more into the military world.
The F-117 has no chaff, so with the missile locked on, it's entirely on the pilot's actions to try and evade the threat.
Wow.
Time slows. He knows it's over.
Shit.
They got me.
These are proximity missiles and should detonate near the aircraft. Somehow the first missile malfunctions and races by his canopy.
Whoo!
The second missile, though, doesn't malfunction. It explodes, sending out a cloud of sharp shrapnel that perforates the left wing of his Nighthawk.
Can we just talk about these animations and how good these are as well?
The entire left side is blasted to pieces, illuminating the night sky a fiery orange.
Okay, quick spiel on military equipment. From my knowledge as a former Royal, if your equipment is going to get into the hands of the enemy, you have to destroy it. Especially comms gear. If your comms gear gets in the hands of the enemy, you're in big trouble. You have to get that comms gear either destroyed or rescued. My presumption is the same for aircraft in some way. It's all about just not letting the enemy get a hold of this bit of kit. And so I'm wondering what the procedures are here. Obviously, he's got to eject at some point because he's going to crash and die. But at the same time, the equipment needs to be looked after and not in the enemy hands. So this is going to be a very interesting take here on what a pilot does when something like this happens. Because at this point, the Soviets don't have the technology that they do in the F-117. So what's he going to do?
The aircraft immediately loses control and is thrown into a wild spin. As the plane spins, Zalko is pinned to his seat and experiences severe G-forces. The spin increases in violence. Flashing warnings illuminate his controls, and a bright flame shines through the cockpit windows as the landscape spins around him. He knows he's in a critical situation. Even ejection might prove fatal, but it's his only choice. He fights 7 Gs of force, 100 pounds pulling up on each of his arms. Fueled by adrenaline, he gets hold of the ejection handles and pulls. In the blink
so
of an eye,
he does get out then, which is crazy considering if he's going at, what did he say, 7G? Oh my God. It's all adrenaline. It must all be adrenaline.
the canopy is blasted away, and his seat rockets out of the cockpit. For 1.5, almost eternal seconds, Zalko free falls through the air.
Oh
stuck to
my
his chair.
God.
He's barely conscious, and he thinks that the seat's still inside the plane and that the ejection seat has malfunctioned. But then, he feels the tug of the opening parachute and sees his burning Nighthawk tumbling away into the night.
Oh, that view as a pilot must be so daunting. Like, firstly, you've just kind of woke up after what is feeling like you're going unconscious, and then seeing the F-117 Nighthawk just go. Oh my God. That must be haunting.
The violence of the spinning wreck is replaced by a total calm. Zalko breathes heavily as he takes it all in. He's alive, but then another thought hits him.
Man, Mom is not gonna be happy about this.
He knows the enemy are going to be searching for him.
Yep.
If he can't fall to the ground unseen, he can still get rescued and get back home with no further complications.
Mission changes at this point. Escape and evasion, which is something I did know about in the Royal Marines. So let's see what happens here.
But then he looks up. He notices his parachute is bright orange.
Yeah.
He might as well be waving a flare. With his hopes of going unseen dashed, he takes out a survival radio to report he's alive and well.
Mayday, mayday, mayday. Vega 3-1. Vega 3-1 going down.
Shit.
To his massive...
Even the comms, though, it depends on what that type of radio that is. It could be intercepted if it's just a... I mean, it's not going to be... It's going to be proper comms, isn't it? So it will be encrypted. But still, like, at this point, it's game on. It's... You have got to get the hell out of Dodge whilst also making a way towards some sort of safer location. This is where the hard part begins. Never mind that 7G pulling yourself out the aircraft. Like, this is where it starts getting very, very dangerous if he's not careful. Because if he gets captured...
Massive relief. The Mayday is heard.
Also, yeah, big subscribe button. This is it. Yarn Hub. Make sure you're going over there, giving us a subscribe and all that good stuff, because this is good. This is really good.
Vega 3-1. Magic copies your mayday. Last position.
To get it.
Vega 3-1. Last position in aircraft. Point after target.
Zalko sees a ditch from above. He doesn't get to say much more before hitting the ground.
Shit.
He's now alone, deep behind enemy lines.
This is it. Get a shifty on.
Zalko runs for the ditch he saw on the way down. He quickly paints himself with mud and tries to hide as he awaits rescue.
Solid idea. Get yourself caked in mud. The other thing as well, you haven't... So if you hit the ground, you haven't really got much time before you're going to start getting a bit of a jog on. The problem is, if they find the parachute and the helmet, because he took his helmet off, they're going to know the vicinity that they're in. You can be like, all right, here is where that was. It landed 2 minutes ago. Let's draw a mile radius and let's cover that. That's how the enemy get you, right? And so it's his job to get a move on, but if he can, make sure it's more difficult for him to see that parachute and that helmet. Like, and he's got to be quick about it. It's not like he can roll up the parachute, find a little hole, bury it. No, he has got to, like, do something to prevent that from being easily seen, because it's going to be seen. It's going to be found no matter what. He's got to quickly put it away and then get a jog on quick. And hopefully he knows the direction he's supposed to be going here.
News of the downed plane quickly spreads. Serbians waste no time and rapidly initiate a search. All around him, the activity gains momentum as more and more men appear.
Shit.
Men of the Serbian army comb the area, gradually joined by local policemen and civilians as the news spreads. Everybody wants to find him.
Yeah.
Flashlights illuminate the fields and trucks roll past on the nearby highway. Zalko can do nothing but sit and pray. Then he hears a rustle in the undergrowth getting louder. Just outside his ditch, someone is searching. He stays still and quiet like a rock, quieting his breath. He hears panting and
Can you just pinpoint the part where he's just ejected from an aircraft, floated down? The adrenaline is all over him, and he's got to stay there, and he's got to be quiet and not do anything. He's got to calm his breathing. People don't realize how much like will that takes and determination that takes to stay alive. We get shown, we do certain like survival drills and stuff in the Royal Marines, and you quickly realize how difficult it actually is to hide. It's very difficult. So if this guy actually pulls it off and he escapes, either he's incredibly lucky or he's very skilled.
snuffling. It's a dog.
Oh, shit.
Slowly and carefully, Zalko pulls out his knife.
Yeah.
The dog gets closer. He weighs his options. Should he kill the dog? If he did, could he do it silently?
Nope.
He finally makes up his mind to spare the dog, reasoning that if he did kill it, the owner would be quick to follow.
Yeah. Did the dog come all the way up to him, or was it just around the area, though? Because if the dog did come up to me, it would start barking instantly. Because it's out there for a reason, right? It's searching for him.
Then, to Zalko's massive relief, the dog turns, jumps up, and leaves.
Wow. Wow.
The radio crackles to life.
Shit.
Sandio 1, Vega 3-1, over.
Should have turned it down, mate.
Zalko's eyes go wide. They're here.
Go ahead, Sandio 1, over. Vega 3-1, is it okay to come down there?
No.
Zalko doesn't respond. He peeks out of his hiding spot, searching the area for threats. Flashlights shine in the distance.
Vega 3.
Oh my god. Just this whole situation is giving me anxiety because I know how, like, difficult that type of scenario is. Obviously, I have never been in a scenario like that particularly, so I don't know how, you know, what he was feeling at the time. But what I do know is how difficult it is to get yourself out of a situation like that, and it is so difficult. So difficult.
3-1, if you don't answer, we're going to try this later.
Oh
He
my
makes
god.
his decision.
Yeah, okay. Let's go for it.
Zalko turns on his infrared strobe. As a
Wow.
chopper races into the area. But the strobe fails, and the helicopter can't see him.
I mean, if he's in a woodland as well and he's putting off that strobe and he's in a ditch, it's not like he's going to be like waving it about, is it? So, yeah, I'm not surprised that a chopper didn't see that.
He curses his luck and desperately checks for threats. He has a backup, but it's nowhere near as subtle. But it's now or never. Zalko makes a quick decision and pops a flare.
No way.
Bright light spills all around him and illuminates the area, pointing out his position for the rescue helicopter.
Surely they weren't that close to him then, the enemy. Surely they weren't that close to him. Because if he pops out a flare, they're going to grab him. Maybe, I don't know whether it's the storytelling and they're just trying to make it sound like he was in more danger than he actually was. Because if there was a good 200 meters away, if he's less than 200 meters away and he pops a flare, they're going to grab him. You know what I mean? So it depends on how close they were. Obviously, the visuals there, they were showing him look out the ditch and they were there with the flashlights. But the truth is, they might have been further away than that.
Helicopter and the enemy alike.
There he is.
So the enemy do see
The
it.
helicopter sweeps in rapidly as the enemy also closes in. At the same time in the distance, flashlights from enemy patrols are all pointed towards the flare. But
Oh,
then
no.
another transmission comes through the radio.
Snuff your flare. It blinds our night vision.
Thinking quickly, Zalko rushes to take the flare and dunk it in the mud.
Which is probably a good idea as well, because if you've ever been in the woods at night, as soon as a target indication disappears, it's almost difficult to know exactly where that was if you haven't got direct eyes on something else that's around that area. If you snuff that, people are going to be like, all right, what was the depth of that? How far away was that again? Was it closer than us? And then they're going to be apprehensive to get too close because you might have a gun. So that's actually probably saved him more than anything, was snuffing it out right at the end there.
Just as the rescue helicopter comes in to land right in front of him
Wow.
and is greeted by an American rescue team.
Wow. I mean, I wouldn't just stand there,
How
mate.
you feeling, sir? Great. Now let's get out of here.
How you feeling, sir? I'd be like, get me in that helicopter right now, you turd. Never mind how am I feeling. Just flew out of an F-117.
The field is blasted with wind as a helicopter rises up into the air and exits a scene with just seconds to spare before the enemy spills over the landing site.
Yeah, no surprise. Big fail on them not getting him. Like, think about their side of it. They failed dramatic. They managed to shoot an F-117 out the sky, and then they didn't manage to get the pilot. Like, that's a big fail on their side, isn't it?
Zoltan Dani and his crew, to this day, remain the only team to have downed a stealth aircraft in combat.
Wow.
When talking about the incident, Dani would later say, when it hit, it felt very good.
Kao da ste postigli pobednički gol na fudbalskoj utakmici.
I bet it did.
The US didn't destroy the wreck, and the Serbian forces salvaged the mortally wounded Nighthawk
Wow.
unimpeded. And today, you can still see pieces of Zalco's aircraft in the Museum of Aviation in Belgrade.
Oh my god, yeah. That's what we were looking at on here. Wow. That's crazy, isn't it? That is crazy. That's the cockpit there that just flew off. So this is the pilot. That's the guy that shot him down. Wow. What a story.
Zalco always expressed a desire to find the man who shot him
There's
down
the same picture.
and congratulate him. He finally got his wish in 2011,
We actually went and met him? No way.
just 12 years after the incident.
The end of the
No
20th
way.
century was packed with unforgettable military stories. Here's another one. What many call the last tank battle of the century.
Okay. Okay. All right. I got a lot to say about this. This channel, Yarn Hub, has really surprised me. It's really, really surprised me. They've got some great videos here about all sorts of stuff. Tank defeats, B-17s, World War II stuff, World War I stuff. Other different battles as well. Oh my god, there's loads of... Let me, I'm going to pull this channel up. How have I never seen this channel before? I feel like it's weird because I am fully in the military kind of space on YouTube, and yet I've never seen this channel before. Is it because it's mostly history? Is that why I've not seen it? Either way, I'm super impressed with this. Very impressed. Let me know what you think in the comments section down below. I will leave a link down below to the OG video. Make sure you go over there and give it a subscribe to Yarn Hub, because it's surprised me out of nowhere, and I didn't expect to like it as much as I really did. Is it as high storytelling as someone like Mr. Ballin or the Fat Electrician? I don't know. I'd have to watch a few more videos to really give that level of ranking to a channel like this. But when it comes to taking a story that is very obscure and something that you don't really hear about, and making a legitimate 12-minute video that was really good out of nowhere, it's impressed me. It's really impressed me. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Check out Chug, 10% off, link down below. Other than that, I will see you in tomorrow's video. Thinking of going live again on Friday, by the way. Let me know what you think. Anyways, I love you all. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.